Hey everybody, Meso from Keep the Peace here, and I'm incredibly excited to bring you some information regarding the upcoming wave of Ninjago releasing globally on June 1st, 2023, Ninjago Dragons Rising. In today's video, we're going to fully unveil the upcoming wave of Dragons Rising sets, the next Ninjago modular building, Ninjago City Markets, and some information regarding the next Ninjago series, revealed through the press release and also through a designer roundtable with members from the Ninjago team that we were a part of thanks to the LEGO Ambassador Network. So all that information is going to be in this video, but also linked in the description below. I'm just going to kind of outline it verbally for you all, and I really want to know your thoughts on the sets, the information, and the reveals. So please leave them in the comments section below, and give this video a like if you like the news. The LEGO Group opens the press release by stating, "We wanted to create a new LEGO Ninjago world with exciting characters and elements that invites new fans in and stays true to the iconic legacy. So, as well as welcoming back our well-known ninjas, we're equally excited to introduce new fantastic ninjas and dragon characters. This follows research we did with kids back in 2021, which showed they really wanted dragons to be front and center of the new story," says Nigel Kong, head of product for LEGO Ninjago. Introducing new ninja characters Sora and Eren, and a baby dragon character Ryu, the new generation of Ninjago characters will come together and must unlock their true potential to find the well-known ninjas who have gone missing in a new world of merged realms. The ninjas will need all the help they can get to defend the Source Dragons, who will unite their world forever or destroy it completely. So the sets for this first wave are as follows. 71777, Kai's Dragon Power Spinjitzu Flip. 71778, Nia's Dragon Power Spinjitzu Drift. 71779, Lloyd's Dragon Power Spinjitzu Spin. These will all be retailing for $10.99 USD. Then we've got 71789, Kai and Raz's Car and Bike Battle. That's going to be retailing for $19.99 USD, and we'll have 103 pieces. 71790, Imperium Dragon Hunter Hound for $19.99 USD and 198 pieces. 71791, Zane's Dragon Power Spinjitzu Race Car for $34.99 USD and 307 pieces. 71792, Sora's Transforming Mech Bike Racer for $47.99 USD and 384 pieces. 71793, Heatwave Transforming Lava Dragon. That's $54.99 USD and 479 pieces. 71794, Lloyd and Eren's Ninja Team Mechs. That's $79.99 USD and 764 pieces. 71795, Temple of the Dragon Energy Cores. $94.99 USD and 1,029 pieces. Elemental Dragon versus the Empress Mech, that's 71796, retailing for $129.99 USD and 1,038 pieces. 71797, Destiny's Bounty, Race Against Time, at $159.99 USD and 1,739 pieces. Another 4+ set, the 71798 Nia and Eren's Baby Dragon Battle, at $34.99 USD and 157 pieces. And then finally, the big one that everyone's going to be freaking out about for months upon months upon months. 71799 Ninjago City Markets, clocking in at $369.99 USD with 6 1,163 pieces. And the press release states this is Ninjago's biggest ever building set, which is absolutely true. That is the first wave of Ninjago Dragons Rising. I think all these sets are really incredible. I like seeing the new characters front and center in a lot of them. Ninjago City Markets is an absolute masterclass in set design. I don't know if I like it quite as much as Gardens or the original city, but it's definitely better than Docks. I think what makes me have a bit of a conflicting opinion on it is the actual design of the buildings, I feel, isn't necessarily as intricate as those other sets, but it more than makes up for it, number one, because of how wide it is, and also because of the different functionalities, like the cable car attachment that can go from one side to the other, the walkways, all of the different minifigures, which are some of the fan favorite characters people have wanted in minifigure form for many years now. And I think it merits, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, to read those out to you. The minifigures we're getting in Ninjago City Markets: Lloyd, Nia, Detective Zane from Prime Empire, Blacksmith Kai, Urban Aaron and Urban Sora, just in their regular outfits, which are really cool, Misdemeanor, Hound Dog McBragg, Camille from the Elemental Masters, Dareth, Cyrus Borg, finally, Racer 7 with an amazing top-tier Bionicle reference. She is rocking that How shirt, and it is awesome. Gail Gossip, Vinny Folson from NGTV News. And then a few, random city characters like the Sushimi Chef, Baker, Boat Vendor, Street Vendor, Borg Store Employee, Tea Vendor, and a Dojo Kid. That is a robust assortment if I've ever seen one. A lot of those characters like Borg, Camille, Misdemeanor, those are like fan favorites people have been wanting for years. And I didn't even ever think we were going to get a Detective Zane figure. I thought the chances of that were next to zero. So I think it's insanely cool to have him front and center here. Overall, it's a wonderful wave. I'm going to refrain from giving my opinions too much on a lot of these sets. I kind of want to save that for Ninjago Cast, where we're going to go in depth on this wave, so feel free to check that out. But I think they're really awesome, and I'd love to know which set is your favorite in the comments section below. For the rest of this video, I want to share with you some of the information about the upcoming Dragons Rising TV show. And I'd like to share that with you in two forms: the info from the press release and the information we received from a roundtable with members of the Ninjago team that was held thanks to the LEGO Ambassador Network. So first of all, from the press release, the brand new LEGO Ninjago Dragons Rising TV show is coming to broadcast channels and streaming services around the world from June 1st. Part 1, airing in June, consists of 10 episodes of 22 minutes each, while Part 2, with an additional 10 episodes, will be released in the fall. The show's been created with Unreal Engine, which enabled the team to be more collaborative and creative in the animation process and to reach a higher visual quality than ever before. So right off the bat, that's insanity to me. 22-minute episodes are back, and 20 of them in the season? That's an insane amount of runtime. That's the most we've ever had. So that right off the bat is crazy to me. But it's very cool. I'm very happy. That's an excellent way to do it. Some people will be upset that they're splitting it into parts, but I think that's good for engagement. If they released the full season in one blast, people would just burn through it, and it would be forgotten about basically immediately. Splitting it up into 2 drops lets people process it better and formulate their opinions, and also give them something to check back on later in the year. So I think that's a win in my book. I would have it no other way. So one of the cool things from the roundtable was that we got to see some of the set's play in action features showed off by Nick van Slagmat, and he showed off a number of cool things, namely Zane's car is capable of doing spin jitsu, if you pop down this lever in the back of the car, the wheels pop up and enable the car to actually spin around and knock into the villains, which I thought was a really fun and hilarious action feature. The Heatwave transforming lava dragon actually has two modes of display. You can have it have a more traditional reared up approach, like in the product image, or you can actually flip it upside down so that its head is like reared down, ready to strike, and it can fire off the dragon energy core that you can see on the product image, which is not a Zamor sphere like I know a lot of people were speculating from Bionicle, something that could be launched out. It's not that exact same piece, but it is similar, and it does have a launching capability. So it will be able to be like fired and popped off, which is pretty cool. One of the team members who we spoke to at the roundtable was Asa Tate, the head of production at LEGO Entertainment. He's based out of Los Angeles, and he started at LEGO about 4 years ago, as Crystallize was being written. He started working with LEGO by directing and producing the Ninjago Decoded series. Asa said they've gone to great lengths to make a global, simultaneous release possible. They can't always guarantee it, but they're aiming for the same release window for the show, as opposed to releases that are months apart. When he spoke about Dragons Rising, he described it as an entirely new series, not a new season. The story takes place with the beginning of a cataclysmic event called the Merge, which brings all 16 realms together into one. We follow two new ninja, Aaron and Sora, the latter of which is from a new realm, as they are taken under the wing of Lloyd as he trains them to become ninja to combat new enemies that want to capture new and secret dragons that have the power to either unite and stabilize the world or destroy it. The series aims to return to the roots of the earlier seasons by giving focus to the bond between ninjas and dragons and building those relationships up. Here's an interesting point, and it's one I really want to focus on. Despite new characters being the focus, that doesn't mean the old ninja are gone. Historically, the core ninja team has been the same 4 to 6 ninja. The core team for this season is Lloyd, Aaron, and Sora. However, the others will come through and appear, and the core team can shift from year to year. Asa said this means we might see the original ninja come back and cycle in and join the fold, but they're playing a little loose with it, so they can follow stories and bring characters in and out depending on what they're up to and what's going on in the world. Asa also mentioned that they're still excited about building the world with the extended media, such as the books and comics, where they can also place focus on other characters. So this is a fascinating point to me because for a while now, there's been a discourse in the Ninjago community about the old characters. Should they be retired? Should we get a new team in? But then some people really want to keep the old characters. They don't want to see them go. Based on this wording, I think we can all put to bed the notion that we will never see the old ninja again. They're all here in the sets. I'm sure they'll show up in the show. At least Kai and Nia, alongside Lloyd, have been featured in trailers up until now. But what this quote does tell me is that we are moving away from the expectation that we will see all 6 of our ninja featured prominently in every story every year. My interpretation from this is that we're going to be getting new characters, probably on a semi-regular basis, and we're going to start widening the cast to where we can cycle characters in and out every year. So maybe one year we'll have Lloyd, Aaron, Sora, Zane, Cole, and a new character. I already see there's one in the sets named Wildfire. What's her deal? Maybe one year we'll get Jay, Nia, Aaron, 2 new characters, and Cole. We're going to be widening the cast. We're going to be bringing on new people to avoid franchise fatigue, which is a good thing. Ninjago needs a breath of fresh air with its new characters. But we're still gonna see our old favorites every now and again, and a few of them will probably be on the team for every year. But I think if you are one of the fans that wants to see the characters you know and love every year in major roles, all of them like we've gotten throughout all of Ninjago's life, you might need to brace yourself for that not being the norm anymore, and try to open yourself up to enjoy some of these new characters, because they're going to be around to stay, and I hope they're good and interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a good thing they're doing. Asa also clarified that the new series is serialized season to season, with large stories that span across years. They'll be going to new locations each year with new lands, villains, and adventures. He said they're very intentionally telling one big overarching story, which means that not everything will be resolved by the end of this season. He said they've done a lot of planning so they can know where they're going, and as a result they can tell bigger stories. Asa mentioned that there will be new villains, and as Lloyd begins training his new ninja, the villains can be seen recruiting their own ninja teams. And due to the realms combining, we can see where the realms are at in the years past, since last time we saw some of them, and we can possibly return to them. Asa stated that this series is built on the foundation of the stories that we love truly as much as you do. He said you couldn't ask for bigger fans of this world, and these characters, and these ninja, to be telling these stories. One of the things that Asa was asked was about whether this new series would be a good jumping on point for new fans. He says yes. Quote, "Our goal, our hope, our dream was that this would be a place for new fans to come in and be able to enjoy this, only coming in at Dragons Rising. But that they would also be inspired and engaged to explore back. So this is a perfect jumping on point, but we're building on so much history that if they're curious, if they're interested by what's come before, it's all still out there for them." Asa also said we're being very careful to honor what has already been built without relying on it too heavily. So you won't see a lot of intense lore that you need to know to follow the story or enjoy the story. Asa also advised that Ninjago Dragons Rising will be time-gated on Netflix for a long time, effectively for the foreseeable future. He was asked a question about whether any of the feedback regarding Crystallized, including like the heavily negative feedback that circulated in the community, was incorporated into the decisions behind marketing the new series. Asa responded by saying, quote, "The feedback is always received. Believe me when I say that we always listen, and we're always trying to figure out what we can do better on that regard. Across the board, we're trying to build something for new fans as well as the existing fan base. And so we had to approach the marketing and everything else a little differently as well, because it wants to come from a very different place. Crystallized we approached as the culmination of over a decade of storytelling, and the way that you try to bring that out into the world is just very, very different than the way you try to bring something that wants to feel sort of completely new." A few more miscellaneous pieces of information. All of the ninja are getting new face prints, which is pretty cool. One of the interesting things that was discussed was regarding Ninjago Core. Asa stated that what's unique to this year is that they started with Core, and as you watch the show, you'll see that some of Dragons Rising has snuck into Core, retroactively making them from the new series in a way. So we've already seen that in some of the trailers. The Core dragons are showing up. Quote, "If you got those Core sets, you've already got some of Dragons Rising. And don't worry, moving forward, it will all be story." Neek followed up. Quote, "From my perspective, I could say we're done with Core for now. There will not be any Core for the foreseeable future." So there you have it. From a set designer himself, Ninjago Core is done. I don't really know how to feel about that. I'll probably get into more of my thoughts on Ninjago Cast. I think it was a cool experiment, but ultimately I think we can all agree as a community we prefer having sets that are based off stories. We have a deeper connection to sets that are based off seasons of the Ninjago show. So I'm not really going to shed any tears for Core. I think they learned some interesting things from it. That'll be incorporated into Dragons Rising. and I'm really excited to see how it all shakes out. That's basically all I've got for right now, this massive smorgasbord of information. Stay tuned to keep the peace because we're going to be doing a Ninjago cast soon where we discuss all this in way more detail. So please feel free to subscribe if you want to see the notification for that when it comes out, and like this video if you enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts on all the information and your favorite Dragons Rising LEGO set in the comments section below, and thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Farewell.